How's it going, everyone? It's Eli with Common Sense. Thank you so much for joining me. And if this is your first video that you're watching, please go back to the last one because this is part 2 of 10 blind buys that were amazing and 10 blind buys that I completely regret. I still have to look at these fragrances on my shelf as a reminder not to blind buy as much. So make yourself a cup of coffee, sit back and relax, and let's jump in. So this next one is actually a Middle Eastern niche fragrance house that you can commonly find for about $70, and it's one of the best niche fragrances under $100. This one is the Attar Collection's Musk Cashmere. Now, just like the name suggests, it is a beautiful, sweet, musky cashmere. So it smells very warm. It's got quite a bit of a lactonic sweetness to it, and it smells slightly floral and comforting. I love spraying this one on myself when I get out of the shower because it's very vanillic and it has a little bit of a waxy ylang-ylang, so those white florals, and it's got quite a bit of pepperiness to it. That musk really does smell clean, and I just love spraying this on myself when I want to feel clean and when I just wash my hair. And it's, again, like I said, a perfect out of the shower fragrance. It's something that you can put it on in the mornings or the evenings when you want to feel refreshed. It's a really interesting DNA because it has a little bit of a marshmallowy sweetness to it without smelling overly sweet. So as a guy, I can confidently wear this because I love musky fragrances, and I think the florals aren't too in your face. I think it's just perfectly balanced, and it smells like a slightly marshmallowy, musky floral goodness with a touch of that really sexy pepper. It really does last you all day, and you just smell amazing that whole time, and you leave an intoxicating scent trail, that sillage, that scent bubble around you. I guarantee people are going to be asking about that one. And that one is Attar Collection's Musk Cashmere. So this next fragrance that I completely regret purchasing was a fragrance, I think it was about $15 or $20. It might have even been 12. So that $10 to $20 mark. This one is from the Middle Eastern house of Aston, and this one is Secret Portofino Blue. So when I first saw this bottle, I was extremely excited because I finally thought somebody did a really high quality fragrance clone of the Armani Privé line. I thought I'd be really saving some money. However, with some things you really do get what you pay for. It's got a very strong alcohol smell, especially when you first spray it, and it has just a very synthetic, gross citrus, like an orange smell in here. It kind of reminds me of like an orange creamsicle mixed with Play-Doh. So you have that very synthetic, salty dough that just smells very cheap. It almost smells like somebody sprayed this on themselves instead of taking a shower. It's not that good. Maybe it's the bottle that I got, but I can't say that this house of Aston has impressed me so far. And that one is Aston's Secret Portofino Blue. I love this bottle. Now this fragrance is 100% worth the price tag, and this one is Lattafa's All Noble Oud. Now you can find this one for about $20, and you really do get an amazing fragrance. It's got this really cool velvety texture on the outside of the bottle, and I gotta say the cap is really the focal point of this entire fragrance bottle. Oh man, this stuff smells cool. This is an amazing summer and fall fragrance, and it has a beautiful fruity muskiness, and it also has a little bit of iris and a mint and chocolate in here. So it's very gourmand. It's definitely unisex, so anybody can wear this, but I absolutely love the musky fruits. I think there's peach, pineapple, and raspberry in here, along with the chocolate, the mint, and so you really do have quite a plethora of notes, and I think it's blended absolutely fantastic. The longevity is amazing too because I think I get around 10 or 11 hours out of this. I can't remember. Haven't worn this one in quite a while, but I think I'm going to pull this one out and actually wear this week. This one's going to be a twist on Panadora's Velvet Iris. So again, like this bottle, it's a little bit velvety. This really is a gourmand fall beast, and it smells slightly spicy, but really, really intoxicating. And this one really is unisex, so anybody can wear it. And as long as you're not afraid of some sweets and some spices in here, I think this guy's going to be your friend. Boop. And that one is Lattafa's All Noble Oud. It may be kind of unfair to rag on these extremely cheap fragrances, but again, this one also comes from the house of Aston. This fragrance I can't stand is Aston Ultra Man Intense. In reality, this smells a little bit better than the last one, but it still smells very synthetic. It smells like they really ramped up some lavender or something in the original Dior Homme Intense. It's like if you smelled Dior Homme one time and you're like, okay, I kind of remember what it smelled like. This just smells like a Five Below fragrance or something that you'd find at the Dollar Tree. I was actually really disappointed because this black part right here, that's actually the little tube that goes down in the original bottle, it's just printed on. Everything about the fragrance smells cheap, but the bottle is actually a nice quality. It's a really nice high quality glass bottle, and the cap is actually quite hefty and it looks pretty dang nice. There's also a little bit of a floor cleaner-esque citrus in here. I really don't know what they were thinking with this one. Just save yourself the 15 bucks and don't buy this one. And that one is Aston's Ultra Man Intense. Now this one is an amazing summer fragrance, and I've actually been seeing a lot of people reviewing these just now, so it's been out for quite a bit, but this one is amazing. This is from Paris Corner, and this is from their Valar series from Emir. This one is called A Chaos in the Ocean, and it is a twist on Ortho Parisi's Megamir, which is a beautiful sea salt and bright citrus fragrance for the summer that smells absolutely heavenly, and I think this definitely captures some of that magic. This one has a blast of bergamot and lemon up top, and it's got a sea salt freshness with a bit of lemon and bergamot up top, and as it kind of dries down you also get a bit of ambroxan, and you also get some cologne and hedione. So cologne is an aroma chemical that gives off a mouth-watering melon-like quality to it, so it's also got a little bit of seaweed in here. The fruits in here smell very sweet, and it's just an amazing just tropical blend of fruits and sea salt, and plus that musk and the ambroxan in the base just smell heavenly. Definitely one of the best blind buys of this year. And that one is Emir's A Chaos in the Ocean from the Valar series from Paris Corner. Man, all these sub names. So this next fragrance that I picked up was quite disappointing, and that one is Zara's Black Tag Intense. Now, despite the black bottle looking really cool and moody, so it's got some bergamot, some cardamom in here, it's got some apple, but I think it just smells extremely average and like a whole bunch of men's department store fragrances just blended and meshed into one bottle. I think the cardamom and the lavender smell really nice here, but it just gives me a little bit of a Paco Rabanne-esque sweetness to it, you know, with the tonka and the patchouli. This just smells, again, like a bunch of men's fragrances that's trying to be kind of like a sexy, sporty fragrance. But I think when you include too many notes and too many profiles and too many different areas that you want it to be, like you want it to be sporty, you want it to be sweet, sexy, strong, I think if you do too much, it just falls really flat. I think simplicity is better. And while this one was actually in a 2-pack with the original black tag for I think like 25 or 26 bucks, it still smells very cheap, and I can't really recommend that one. And that one is Zara's Black Tag Intense. Now this next one is one of my all-time favorite lattafa fragrances. This one is Lattafa Pride's Vintage Radio. Now Vintage Radio smells absolutely amazing, and I can't believe that this is a $35, $40 fragrance. Vintage Radio is one of the best smelling fragrances I've got my nose on this year. This one is going to be a twist on Initio's Paragon. So that is an amazing DNA. It's very sweet, fruity, and musky, but I think this one does it amazing. There's a beautiful lavender, bergamot, and plum in the opening, and as it dries down you get a beautiful, creamy, slightly smoky Palo Santo, but it really just smells creamy, musky, and just uplifting. I really can't stop smelling this one, and every time that I smell it, I just get a smile on my face. And I was actually tasked with one of my friends who was asking me for some fragrance advice. He was trying to find a signature scent that he could wear all the time, and he's kind of new to the world of fragrances, but this one and also Roja Elysium were some of his two favorites. So you have a really expensive niche and a really affordable Middle Eastern clone. And a funny story, he was actually spraying this on his son because his son loved it so much, and he wanted to get every last little bit out before he returned the bottle back to me. I just thought that was really funny. But this is definitely one of the safest blind buys of all year. Not to mention this stuff lasts me all day, and I can still smell it going really, really strong about 6 hours later. So it really doesn't die down, and as you're walking, you will still smell it, and the people around you will smell it. So this is a beast, and it smells amazing the whole time. And that one is Lattafa Pride Vintage Radio. Now, while that one was an amazing Initio clone, this one is not so much. This one is Zemaya's Musk is Great. So I purchased this one thinking this was going to be an Initio Musk Therapy clone. So there's also a Maison Alhamra Infinity Musk, which is pretty close. It's about 7 or 8 out of 10 in terms of similarity. This one, I don't know what they were thinking. It doesn't smell anything like the original. This one is a very rosy incense and floral twist to that DNA, and I don't even know if I'd call it a twist because it really doesn't smell anything like the original. The musk is super toned up on here, and it actually gives quite a bit of nasal fatigue, especially if you smell it for too long. And I think the florals are just strange in this one. It doesn't smell extremely high quality. It definitely has more of a feminine floral, so nothing super unisex, and I think it definitely comes off as more of just a feminine incense musky fragrance that really doesn't smell like the original. But as I'm smelling it more, it definitely smells okay. I'm kind of liking it a little bit more, but it's not really something that I would wear personally on a day-to-day basis. And if you're looking for something similar to musk therapy, this is not going to be it. It almost smells like a twist on Ajmal's Wasal. So that one is also an incense, rose, and floral heavy fragrance for women, and I love that fragrance. And this one, it just smells like a much muskier, slightly lavender version of that. There are far worse, but if you were expecting the original, this is not it. And that one is Zemaya's Musk is Great. So for the final fragrance that I was absolutely astonished with, that blew me away and checked all of my boxes as a fragrance, we're talking about Nabils Earth. Now, Nabils Earth is going to be a twist on the Spirit of Dubai's Turath. So this is an amazing, amazing fragrance. I haven't smelled the original, and I would love to get my nose on it or order a decant, because if it smells anything like this, it is going to be incredible. So I just learned that the Spirit of Dubai actually is owned by Nabils. So the Spirit of Dubai is going to be their luxury flagship fragrances versus their more affordable ones under the Nabil line. I get the most rich and royal, just opulent smelling rose, oud, and musk in here. And so I think there's strawberry, there's going to be some peach, just some beautiful fruits and florals. And you also get quite a bit of smokiness from the agarwood. And I think there's just a ton of notes in here. And it's kind of hard to pick all of them out, but it definitely just smells like a rich blend of opulent notes that are worthy of royalty. So if you want to smell like a Middle Eastern king or queen or anybody just with royalty, I think you can definitely pull this off. And this is my go-to fragrance when I wear this suede jacket. I think it just really adds to that confidence. It smells absolutely high quality, and it really is a boost in my psychology. So I feel like I carry myself a little bit more professionally when I wear this, and I feel like I just put my best foot forward whenever I smell this. So this one, you're gonna be getting about 16 hours of longevity at least. I can't remember what I said in my last video, but it is well over the 12 hours. And that one is Nabils Earth. And the fragrance that I cannot stand most of all. This one is Maison Alhamra's Laden. Now, looking at the bottle and the name, this is going to obviously be a twist on Parfums de Marly's Leighton. So it definitely is faithful to the lavender opening, and it has that beautiful vanillic and just a little bit of that spicy medicinal smell, especially in the opening. And as it dries down, you definitely get some of that vanilla and the musk. Unfortunately, this stuff doesn't last. I get about 6 hours or so realistically on my skin, and I actually had this bottle leak in my car. The quality of this lining at the top by the collar is absolutely terrible, and this blue flaking just came off, and it actually left a puddle of fragrance on my black leather in my Tesla, and it completely ruined the seat. And so I am extremely bitter towards this fragrance. And it also left a permanent Maison Alhamra coin-sized emblem on my seat that is just a reminder of how alcohol strong this fragrance is. Like, this stuff smells okay in terms of the fragrance, but it's really alcohol heavy, especially in the opening, and the lavender is just way too strong. And it's like they took the ratios of the notes and just missed it on this one. So weird note ratio plus terrible performance. That's why this one is my least favorite out of all the fragrances that I have bought. Can't get over my car. And that one is Maison Alhamra's Laden. Whew, so that does it. 20 fragrances, 10 of them being the best, 10 of them being the worst fragrances that I have blind bought out of this year. So let me know in the comments down below what some of your best and worst blind buys were, if you regretted buying any, if you absolutely loved what you bought. Leave them down in the comments, and I'd love to discuss those with you. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you were new, consider subscribing and turning on the notifications, because I'm going to be doing a lot of giveaways, and I just love making fragrance related content delivered right to your inbox. That does it, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've been Eli with Common Sense, and until the next time, bye-bye. And that one is Aston's Secret Portofino Blue.
Get that away from me!